what is the name of this again? Whatever this new Stream Champ. Oh my gosh, I highly recommend Stream Champ. It is amazing. I've been through hell tonight trying to do these kind of live streams. Nothing's worked except for this Stream Champ. It's so much easier than everything else I was using. And okay, what we're doing here is a Trainz tour. I've been through hell on earth trying to do this. I've tried doing screen recordings and just posting regular videos. I've tried oh, hang on, let's do all messages here. Let's go back to the save, exit driver, select route. I mean, I tried to do regular videos. They refused to upload on YouTube. I've tried doing live streams. It's been miserable, guys. Okay, there's a 60-second delay. That's kind of interesting. I see how that works now. It's neat, though. I kind of like it. You know, it's such a great app. They said it was a save. No. Oh, I don't have any of those neat trains anymore that I had running around. But, yeah. It's taking a while to load everything in. Everybody knows this from my previous route tours, I think. It's taking a while to load in. Yeah, this is the Greenville here, I call it. And if you guys don't know the backstory of me and Trainz, let me explain it real quick. Basically, I download this so I can have fun and model some things that I eventually recreate in, that I would like to eventually recreate in model railroads. Obviously not everything here, but there's little areas here and there that I kind of create digitally so I can model in the future on model layouts. Of course, I won't be working on those anytime soon since we'll be moving soon, and I want to keep the model railroad layouts as light, simple, and movable as possible. So we're going to go, if you guys remember my last route tour video, which I'll try to show you guys here real quick. This route editing.
Why shop
this is
a
good
mattress
enough.
store
Oh, we got an ad
you can
there.
shop
No,
Big
not
Sandy
sponsored.
Superstore?
Not sponsored.
Shop
Not sponsored. Oof, Streamlabs right there at the beginning. That does not work at all. Not anymore, anyways. Okay, this was my last route at drive session and route editing.
You'll come out to a different season.
So you guys kind of got an idea of like that's where it was back then. It changed a lot since this. Over here's what I was wanting. See this area
generic,
right here, guys? This is gonna. This right here is going to. This right here is gonna be kind of
Now, since this is really
something we're gonna
generic,
discuss here in a bit. See this little area?
as far as
How the
Trainz
track
goes,
split there, and it's got this
we're
neat
gonna
little
uncouple.
thing kind of set up there. Yeah, that
Actually, no,
has
we're gonna
changed
recouple.
quite a bit.
we're gonna shove this
Right
back.
there. But you see the 4 tracks, that little thing off to the side. Let me skip ahead here a bit. Yeah. Oh, there was a good shot.
That one's good.
Is Maple Hills
Those
done,
are really the
man?
only ones we gotta really worry about.
The interlocking. It may or may not have been.
I think there's
But yeah,
none
all
over
this
here,
blank
yeah.
area over there
One over
to the top
The mountain that's all set up
right
I know
hand
that.
corner of the screen.
Oh yeah, we're good on the inside track.
Yeah, that has changed drastically, and we're going to show you guys that here in just a
about
bit.
19 miles an hour.
Yeah, let's get over there and stop messing
We'll have it going a
around.
little bit
Ooh,
slower,
ooh, 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 ooh,
just
ooh.
because it's still not that far behind.
So, yeah, basically that one area we were just in. This is that little area right there. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. That little siding goes... Oh, I hit a switch. This this little siding over here goes over to a big yard, another town over there. There's all kind of neat stuff back in here. Road that goes over there. We'll go up this little mountain here a bit. Got a little gravel yard back in here. A lot of little neat vehicles and stuff back in there. Concrete silos and stuff. Winds up around this mountain, past the town again, and the little houses and stuff back there. Then we come to a switch right here, and this rusty, tight track keeps going up the mountain for small, very non-frequent trains, I'd say. And then straight over here, we got this main line that's still heavily used. It goes over to a lumber company, lumber mill, technically. Got a few flatbeds there, etc., etc. This is all new, built all this up recently. And this line goes back over to good old White Oak Mountain that we've seen in that previous video that will be linked in the description at some point tomorrow. Tomorrow because I'm busy tonight. And I know this is a late stream, but I've been trying all night to get this to work, and I'm not giving up now, so now that it's finally going again. And yeah, that track meets up here with near the yard over here at the forestry. This is White Oak Village, and that's White Oak Mountain right over here. That's what I named them. And all that blank area you guys saw over there, we'll zoom out, it's all been done up. So now that we got a little look here at this little short line slash connector line that heads over that way, which was originally just a little spur track. And now it's a little short line that kind of branches off the main lines. And if you guys can tell, the single track becomes the double track here. Like, see, this right here was these two on the right, out of these 4 lines, the 2 on the right were the double track originally. I changed them up a bit so it had a little bit of variety, so you're not, when you're on the single track, it kind of becomes part of the double track for a very short period of time. That makes sense. And if you're on the double track, it becomes part of the single track. It'll make more sense when we get over here. And it's just for a little bit, and we got this big gorge here, waterfalls, cabins down there. There's a little bit of like a mountain resort type thing back in here in the gorge. And I guess some little rental cabins, cottages down there. Just some things I threw together real quick. And over here, these 2 tracks split, and we wind up with 3 single tracks split by either hills or gorges, or like a little valley back in there, and this is the gorge over here. Not a canyon, because the canyon's way bigger and deeper than this. So a little gorge over here. Over here becomes more of a valley. And I made this all in probably about 2 days. I made this all. It's taken me a while to update you guys on this though. Right here's the true double tracks, and right here they get split by the river and the hillside there, as you guys can see, right by this little station here. And it says Maysville, but I named this town over here Pineville. Kind of inspired by Pineville, West Virginia, I guess you could say. And there's a coal mine and a big coal yard over here. We'll go check that out in a bit, but I want to show you guys over here. Right over here is where the single track and the double track kind of meet up again. And I got this new little airport over here, but we'll get to that in just a second. And right here is the big old coal yard behind the town here. We go down looking up into the yard and the coal mine. You can switch cars coming down onto, this is the main line over here, which is slowed to 25 miles an hour because of all the industry. But if there's like stuff on the main line, you would switch up this, heading up this switchback into this mountain here, kind of on the edge of the map. I know it's tight and rough. It's got to be cleaned up. But just a little thing I threw together to aid in the process of switching. So you don't have to always switch onto the main line like that. And back over here's the coal mine. Sugar Pine Mine, named after the Sugar Pine Gorge over there. Really fun though, just to mess around. I started doing this one when I broke my arm I got back into this. I had another route a long time ago, but it unfortunately was on my old iPad that absolutely crashed, and I don't have access to it anymore, unfortunately. And there's certain things in this route that are loosely inspired off of that. The winter area I'm going to try to keep almost exact. We'll get to that in a bit. I'm just starting the winter area. This is spring over here, technically. Back here we got a little kind of a company town type thing I threw together real quick, and a big loop, turnaround loop. And here's the coal mine. We got some little warehouses over here. Some more warehouses over here with a yard office. Some neat little things like that. And I would have some trains running right now, but I think we'll do that in a separate stream tomorrow. Right now it's just a tour. And up here, I had to add another river. Got another little low head dam here, little bridge. Too low for intermodals. That's why this bridge down here has an open top on it, because intermodals actually can and do go through here. And this track here is just yard access. Through in this little road over here that goes into the winter area. We'll get to that at the end. I guess I didn't show you guys this yet. This is the airport here. A couple planes. One of them is a World War II something. The other one's called a Cherokee something. I'm not that big on planes, but I do have a couple of them. And this airport is functioning. The runway functions and everything. It's got this invisible track that the planes run on that's like elevated in the sky. And they will like take off if you put drivers in them and, you know, give them commands and stuff like that. And the runway's lit up at night, as you see from these lights here. And it's not that great, but it looks alright. Big farm field over here. Little farm right here. Had to add that in real quick. Sorry if I'm showing things kind of close. It's just kind of quick. It's late. I've been trying to do this all evening. It's finally working, and I've practiced like several times, so I know what I'm doing here. This is like the 5th take or something. It's finally working right. Had to get a new streaming app that works amazingly well. I really like this streaming app now. Little farmhouse here, barn, stuff like that. Another field. Just some little things I threw together, you know. And then, yeah, all these mountains around here now. We'll follow the single track through here that goes, I gotta do something here, guys. Hang on. Let's see, who or what are we gonna run over here real quick? Get us a little New York Central Hudson going here. So that's going there. And this is the single track, the same one that goes through White Oak Mountain, just clear over on the other side of the route right now of the map. Little mountain lake, and what's neat about this track here is this track stays at the same level the whole time. Even though it might kind of appear like we're maybe down in a valley right now or up in the mountains, depending on how you look at it, the track is dead level all the way around. I just changed the ground around it to give it the effect that we're gaining and losing altitude, we're going uphill, we're going downhill. It really gives it that kind of feeling that you're like up at a higher elevation now, or maybe at a lower elevation. It's kind of hard to tell at the, you know, it's kind of neat like that. But either way, you don't really feel like you're at just standard default ground level looking at this. And this road here is the same road that comes over from the town, goes over the tracks here, winds through these hills, through an old dry riverbed, maybe where the river used to run or something. And that goes over to here, to the other town. And then you got this little bridge here and this little one-lane road that goes down to that resort we saw earlier. But let's get back over to the single track. Let's watch our Hudson pass. We've got to run some kind of train through here, I feel like. And I know most people on this channel aren't too big into like trains or anything, but it's fun to mess with, you know. It's a lot cheaper than model railroading will still be 1,000 times better than Trainz Driver 2, but this is cheaper. It's fun to mess with sometimes, so you know what? Why not? Every now and then when I'm a little bored. So over here is our first big trestle. And that over there is that single track. We'll go ahead and do a little fly. This is actually the part of the original double track. Right there, as you guys can tell, that's where the single track meets up with the other former double track and becomes a new double track for a little bit, for a short period of time, if that makes sense. This over here is from the original double track. Do a quick fly over the gorge here real quick so you guys can see where that comes from. Maybe that can give you guys a little bit of a better idea of what I'm talking about. And yeah, then those two meet up there and just gives it a little bit of variety. And then all three of them meet up right here. And there's a passing siding here, so it becomes a massive 4-track main line. And then we got this huge bridge here, and there's another waterfall. Let's watch this real quick. Yeah. This old stone bridge, of course, goes over to the other town in that yard. That other yard over there. But, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we got this other waterfall over here. Drops down into a deeper gorge. And then you got this big modern bridge here for high speed and a lot of tracks. And then that just kind of goes over here to the edge. And that's that. And from over here at the tracks, you really don't get a sense of it ending right there. It does look like it goes on for quite a ways further, I think. You go down here where these overheads are at. If you guys remember in that last live stream, this was just nothingness over here. Here's that big lake, another town up there, little town. And then out over this way, there's just nothingness for a while in the middle, kind of. And then down here, dense, dense forest. Now, this was last time you guys probably saw this. There was almost nothing here other than right about back here, some trees started up. Other than that, there's mostly nothing over here. And, you know, I know it doesn't make the most sense in the world to have, like, a big three-track main lines out in kind of the middle of nowhere, but it looks really neat to have a crap load of tracks just in the middle of nowhere. I like that, you know? It's neat, you know. It's just fun to mess around with, you know, and then there's the single track. We'll take it over here. Show you guys something else I've been working on lately. A couple other things. I don't know if I showed this in the last one, but there's a little road construction going on here. And then again, pause to see things more in detail. Try not to be up too late tonight. I'm just glad I finally got this working, and I'm, you know, just gonna go ahead and get this little route tour done with now. And we got this little town here I decided to name Valleyburg for the heck of it. Valleyburg Depot, and then there's Valleyburg downtown. Right here by the big reservoir I made. I'm sure I showed that to you guys in one of the previous streams. I don't know, maybe. Yes, no, maybe so. There's that oil refinery over there again, as seen in the previous streams. A little bit of overgrown track here. It naturally, when I made this bridge, for some reason, the track just dipped into the ground there. So I was like, oh, it'd be neat to put a bunch of shrubs there and just kind of make it a little overgrown. I don't know why, but it looks neat. And it's that river. I gotta paint the riverbed a dark color so it looks better. But this little bridge there, and this is that single track. Of course, it does split again here, which that can be used as a passing siding or just access to the oil refinery. And then here we go past the base of White Oak Mountain. The single track goes up White Oak Mountain And we already showed this more in detail in one of the other streams, so we'll go ahead and just link that in the description. Tomorrow I will, when I'm wide awake, and I'm sure everybody else is wide awake. I'll go ahead and link that in the morning so you guys can see more in detail. But yeah, there's White Oak Mountain, where we were at earlier. That single track proceeds down a pretty steep incline here. A lot of these things you've seen here were loosely inspired of some things actually in the Appalachians, like Saluda Grade loosely inspired this kind of area here. And White Oak Mountain was also loosely inspired from where the wreck of the old 97 happened. Kind of right there's the bridge. I kind of recreated it. But yeah, let's get back over to where we were at. So yeah, that wraps around over there, comes down this way. Goes underneath where the little lumber mill is at. Through there. And comes out over here, loops under the a wooden trestle over here. Goes through another little part of the town down in here by this lake, little mountain lake. Some log cabins, some things like that. Goes through a little narrow canyon, gorge little thing there. Then out here to another little incline, which is not bad on the steepness. Unlike the mountain behind there is a little too steep, I think. And then goes past this little farm here. I don't know if you guys ever really saw that anytime recently. And, or anytime at all, I mean. Another little field over here. The track splits again, and if you go straight, we want it to go that way, but if you go straight, you wind up over here with access to this little double track main, this diamond, and you go past the Maple Hills interlocking, and then you can go over through here, and then you get access over there to the big former New York Central yard, which is a container yard now. I had a lot of fun making that yard there. It was real neat pulling that off, looking at Google Maps at some other intermodal yards and getting inspired. And then you can go back that way, which eventually goes back over past the airport and then over to the coal mine. And what this is right here is a balloon loop that I use for turning around trains on. Mostly passenger trains on this. And this double track is the same as this double track. They are connected. As you can see right here, they connect up by this signal. And we'll go ahead and take you guys through here. And right here, they connect up with that other double track. That side and that side. And you guys can see on the other side of the yard there, got a bunch of warehouses now. Just kind of floating around. One thing leads to the next, getting this tour over kind of quick. Giving you guys a little brief look at everything. We'll do more in the future, of course. When it's all done, we'll do a massive tour, I think, when we're fully complete. Yeah, got some warehouses put over here. And over here we got a big old steel mill with a couple areas where coal can be dumped at to use for fuel. Some Conrail and NS locomotives over here at the yard. Big CSX locomotive just kind of hanging out in the middle of the yard. These are all locomotives I use a lot for switching or on trains and stuff like that. And we've got a few cars I like to keep in the yard at all times, but sometimes I'll add a heck of a lot more. And we got this roundhouse over here. I'm sure you guys have already seen most of this stuff. And we'll do more random screen recordings. I'll try to. For some reason, my iPad does not like me uploading videos on YouTube, even trying to upload them lately. Roundhouse over here. A couple steam locomotives, one of which is a Boston and Albany / B&O Pacific on the right, and then there's a USRA 280 on the left. It's a United States military locomotive. United States Army. You guys can probably see. Really fun little locomotives to operate. Keep an old Pullman passenger car in there and then a caboose around here. And then there's the little yard office. This was loosely inspired, if you guys can tell already, loosely inspired by the CSX Parsons yard, with the roundhouse, the overpass, and the multi-track crossing right there, and the turntable, of course. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of inspiration for. There's not a whole lot of Parsons yard inspiration. Just a little bit around the roundhouse there. And we'll give you guys just a quick little look here at the city. I know it's taking a while for some of the buildings to load in because we're moving around a lot here. We'll do more in-depth tours in the future, though. You get this little neighborhoods over here. Buildings go up into the hills here a bit. I got a slight inspiration from Charleston, West Virginia, slight inspiration from Nashville. Just some Appalachian, like a lot of the Appalachian cities out there, just kind of like combined into one here. Little bits from each city. I just kind of got inspired by that. Got some old brick buildings here in the older part of town, downtown. This is, of course, the fall section of the map. This is 4 seasons into the Appalachians, this route. That's what I call it. 4 seasons of Appalachia. And then over here is spring. I know it's kind of weird to go just from spring to fall, but it'll make more sense when the winter area out there is done. We'll get to that in a bit. Now, I think we should probably follow the double track. I don't know. Maybe I should follow it all the way around. Maybe not. We'll do that more in a future stream, actually. We're just showing you guys mostly the recent stuff I've been working on. But this, you guys can see this. We were following the single track all the way around. You can see where it winds up where we started at. So you guys kind of got the idea of the full loop of that. And the double track kind of follows mostly the same route, but it veers away from the single track quite a bit here and there. And over here, this is going into what's soon going to become the winter area. Another little dam there, just to kind of differentiate between the two different bodies of water, just from the heck of it. Little crossing there I made homemade. This little town here is based off of something from the original route that I lost a long time ago. I'm still figuring out how those buildings are going to be placed. And then this road bridge and this train bridge parallel each other over here. I'm going to try to keep this winter area as true to the original as possible. So I'm really taking my time on it, trying to think how I did it originally. But all this blank over here is going to be the winter area, and I'll probably add on a little bit more baseboards to this as well. So nothing too much right in here. The tracks aren't connected up a bit. Right in here is going to be a little yard of some kind, and there's going to be a town right in here. Behind the town, there's going to be a couple little mountains. Well, a couple pretty big mountains, actually, and tracks going up the mountains. You can see I added a little bit of snow, some trees, kind of got a little bit of a village sort of thing, temporary thing going here, just to kind of see what it looked like. And the tunnel actually used to be over here, and the tracks are going right down the middle of this village, but I decided to move them over so I can have a little more space. And this is all I've got so far of the winter area, just that little area right there. We'll do more on that in the future. But it is 1 a.m. now, and I want to wrap the stream up, so what we'll actually do is do a quick little flyby on the double track here, just to show you guys what's going on. And we got this little abandoned track here, but I think I'm going to save my plans for that in the future. I'm going to do something kind of neat with that. You guys will see eventually. But we're just going to go ahead and run around the double tracks here real quick, show you guys where those go. That one splits in there, has access to the coal yard. These two stay here. We get split again because of the river and the narrowing gorge down there. One track goes over here. And you got another little thing that goes over here to the yard, and this weird little Y kind of thing right here. access to the yard and the coal mine. I think, yeah, I showed the coal mine already earlier, yeah. And you guys know how the double track splits back there, and you got this, basically get 3 single tracks here. One here, and the single track from earlier over here. So it splits from 3 lines running all parallel to just them splitting apart and just becoming single tracks because of the narrow canyon. And over here we got our second waterfall, drops down. Still following the double tracks now. Then the double track, the true double tracks meet up with the single track and the other, you know, they just kind of meet up and they become this big super 4-track main line in the middle of nowhere, which isn't that practical, but I think it's pretty neat. And then the true single track goes back to a single track. The two true double tracks are together. And then 3-track main line over here on the other side. You guys saw earlier, they split. Double tracks go by the oil refinery. Right here's one of the fastest parts of the line, 60 miles an hour. Just those trains go roaring through here. It's really fun. Little Christmas tree farm here. I did that a while ago. Grain silos down here. Back in Greenville, where we always pretty much start out. 60 mile an hour, so right about here, then it drops to 40. It's restricted to 40 mile an hour through the yard. And here's actually something, since we already pretty much started out over here, you guys know the double track goes through an area we've already covered, and then back to where we started at. So pretty much the last thing I've got to show you guys in this one here is this weird little Y. Not really abandoned track, but very, very lightly used little Y here. And this also will give you access to the track that goes up to White Oak Mountain. So kind of neat. I don't even have gates here at this road yet. And then of course this road is the one that becomes part of the city there. Through this gore, and then boom, through this little gorge here. Then boom, you're right in the city. So with that, I think, thanks for watching, etc., etc. I gotta get to bed. I'm just so glad this finally worked. Now that I got a good live streaming thing finally, expect a lot more in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed this little tour of my Trainz Driver 2 route so far. And I hope and pray to God that I can eventually upload this on Trainz so other people can check it out. Because I know there's probably some other people who might be kind of interested in this. I hope, I guess. And I don't know, we'll do a bit of a running session tomorrow on this. And maybe a little route editing. And maybe if we can get a real good stream with some people in there, I can take some suggestions for stuff you guys might want to see modeled in this. Yep, I guess I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Let's see where the Hudson's at first. Where? Okay, he's going by the airport. We'll catch up with the Hudson here. We'll kind of cruise around in this for a little bit. What's really fun is when you get going faster speeds through the gorge and in the cab ride. It's really neat. But yeah, when I created that gorge, I just built up mountains all around it, dug down valleys underneath, and the tracks, the double track main line stays at the same level throughout this whole route. Just about, except over in the New York Central yard, it gets elevated just slightly up there. for some reason. It was a mistake that I had to kind of even out later, but it's kind of neat. That's the only area that gains just a little bit of altitude off the ground. Other than that, this double track main line stays at this. All the tracks that go through the gorge over here stay at the same main line. It's just the ground off to the sides dug down a bit, and the ground